Furious world leaders are calling out Donald Trump both expressly and impliedly for what has been uncovered in the Epstein files. As Prime Minister Tusk of Poland has said yesterday, it seems increasingly clear that the entire pedophilia ring of Jeffrey Epstein was connected to Moscow intelligence, that this all goes directly to Putin. You have the Prime Minister of Poland saying that, and Prime Minister Tusk says that he is launching an investigation in Poland to determine the ties with which Russian intelligence was responsible for Epstein's child sex trafficking ring in Poland, in Europe, in the United States. We did a whole video here on the MeidasTouch network about the thousands of references to Putin in the Epstein files and how Epstein was talking about meetings with Putin, with the highest level government officials coordinating moves, talking about pitching Bitcoin to Putin, saying how Putin wanted to meet with him on certain occasions, describing in detail and implying grave potential influence with American politics as well. I want to share with you what Prime Minister Tusk said yesterday as he announced this official investigation by Poland into Putin's involvement in Epstein's sex trafficking ring. And again, go back and watch the full video where I break down all of these specific communications that Epstein had with world leaders about Putin and its connection to the first Trump administration and its connection to the Trump regime right now. You also have world leaders calling out Donald Trump for his ultimate betrayal, as it also relates to Putin. Remember 48 hours ago, Donald Trump said he spoke with Putin, which would be right after those Epstein files dropped. And Donald Trump said that Putin promised him that he was not going to be attacking Ukraine because of the cold weather. And Trump said to Zelensky, "You're good. Tell the people of Ukraine everyone's good right now." Putin said there won't be attacks because of the cold weather in Ukraine. And then shortly thereafter, Putin launched one of his biggest attacks on Ukraine in Kyiv, Kharkiv, and the surrounding areas, killing people, and people were lured out by Donald Trump's statements. I want to talk about that. You also have Greenland's foreign minister speaking in Norway, giving a powerful speech against the Trump regime. I want to share that as well. And then we should talk also about, in France, French President Emmanuel Macron and the French rapid response social media accounts hitting back at MAGA every single day. You know, there was basically a search warrant executed at the Twitter or X offices in France for violations or potential violations of French law regarding the types of content that in France, they say, look, we have free speech here, but you can't engage in certain types of conduct that's deemed unlawful, predatorial, harmful to children. And then Elon Musk whined about it, and France was like, yeah, we agree with the First Amendment, but what this stuff is ain't that. And they would push back. Let's tie this all together, shall we? So first, let me show you what Prime Minister Tusk said as he announced this investigation into the links between Putin, Moscow, and Epstein, and the influence operations that could be run in Poland and across the world. Here, play this clip.
We cannot allow any of the cases of Polish children exploited by the pedophile network and by the organizer of this satanic circle, Mr. Epstein, to be disregarded by anyone. The first reports have emerged concerning individuals who, for example, informed Mr. Epstein from Krakow that they already had a group of Polish women or girls. We, along with the Minister of Justice, the Prosecutor General, and the Minister Coordinator for Special Services, have jointly decided to establish an analytical team and potentially launch an investigation if analyses confirm our concerns regarding the pedophilia scandal in the United States. The very well-known Scottish journalist Andrew Marr yesterday posed truly crucial questions, and these pertain to every government across the globe. These are questions regarding what we intend to do about this, given that suspicions concerning Epstein's connections and that entire pedophile network with Russian special services are escalating daily. This issue must also be thoroughly investigated by us, considering the national security of the Polish state.
I mean, you heard him for yourself, what he had to say there. Now I want to pivot and talk about Zelensky being betrayed yet again by Donald Trump. So here's what Zelensky posted as Russia launched one of its biggest Shahed drone ballistic missiles, cruise missile attacks on Ukraine, when Donald Trump said, "You have nothing to worry about, Ukraine. I spoke with Putin. Everyone's good." Here's what Zelensky writes. "We await the reaction of America to the Russian strikes. It was the U.S. proposal to halt strikes on energy during diplomacy and severe winter weather. The President of the United States made the request personally. Russia responded with a record number of ballistic missiles. This speaks volumes about Russia's promises. If their word doesn't hold even now, what can be expected next? They're incorrigible in Moscow, trying to take advantage of the cold because they cannot subdue Ukraine through assaults. Russia's bet on war must receive a response. And the U.S. Congress has long been working on a new sanctions bill, and it is important that there be progress on it. European partners can take decisive steps regarding Russian oil tankers earning for the war. Russia must feel pressure so that it moves in negotiations towards peace." And Zelensky also wrote, "There is an important initiative in the U.S. Congress that could provide more tools for the right pressure on Russia. Now is the best time to pass the Sanction Russia Act. Strong sanctions can support diplomatic efforts and together ensure necessary outcomes. Everyone in the world can see that Moscow is not listening to words and requests and is not responding to them reasonably. While America is investing so much time and effort in diplomacy, Russia continues to invest only in its missiles and drones and carries on with attacks despite requests from our American partners to refrain from doing so for a week. Last night saw a record-breaking attack in the number of ballistic missiles fired. 43 missiles of various types approaching their targets along a ballistic trajectory. There were also 28 cruise missiles and 450 attack drones. The Russians deliberately waited for the coldest days and launched this attack when many of our cities were at negative 20 degrees Celsius or negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit. All Russian targets in Ukraine are energy facilities exclusively. This also means that human lives and the diplomatic process are effectively targets for the Russians as well. We must pressure Russia so that it invests not in war, not in escalation, but in ending the war that it started in the first place. We thank everyone who supports Ukraine. We thank everyone who helps protect lives."
I had one of those moments where I looked at my bank statement and thought, what is all of this? It turns out I was paying for multiple subscriptions I completely forgot about, and in one case, I was paying for the same service more than once. That was my wake-up call that I needed to help get my finances under control. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. What I love is how Rocket Money tracks your subscriptions automatically and lets you cancel the ones you don't want anymore right in the app with just a few taps. No more hunting down logins, no awkward emails, no wasted time, and no more surprise charges. It also pulls all your accounts together and automatically categorizes transactions so you can actually see where your money is going. Once you see those patterns, it becomes way easier to set budgets, plan ahead, and save for bigger goals without feeling overwhelmed. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. That's rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. MEIDASTOUCH.
So you hear there what Zelensky's saying. By the way, Prime Minister Donald Tusk of Poland also wrote, "There is a special place in hell for those who took part, for those who kept quiet, and those who tried to conceal it," regarding Jeffrey Epstein. Conceal it? Keep it quiet? Knew about it? I think he's referring to Donald Trump right there, in my opinion. Tell me what you said in your opinion as they investigate the links between Epstein, Russian intelligence, election interference in Poland and abroad. It's written about in the Polish papers. It's written about in Reuters. Poland to probe possible links between Epstein and Russia, Prime Minister Tusk says right there. Well, how's Donald Trump responding to all of this? When a reporter asked Donald Trump, this was yesterday, so this was referring to on Monday, which was Monday, you were talking about how Putin agreed to pause attacks on Ukraine during the cold weather, but overnight the attacks started again, Donald. What's your response? Here, play this clip.
On Ukraine, Mr. President, yesterday you were talking about how Vladimir Putin had agreed to a pause during the cold weather. Overnight, those attacks have started up again. Apparently, the worst.
It was Sunday to Sunday, and it opened up, and he hit him hard last night. No, he agreed. He kept his word on that. It's a lot. 1 week is, we'll take anything because it's really, really cold over there. But it was on Sunday, and he went from Sunday to Sunday.
You disappointed he didn't go further or go longer?
I would like I want him to end the war.
And again, you see everything with him is both sides. Because the real side that Donald on is Putin's side. That's why he both sides it. Because he's really on Putin's side. He's a Putin bootlicker. And when you go through the files, the Epstein files, in my opinion, you also see where some of the origin around some of the stuff may be. Again, I'm just giving you First Amendment opinion speech right here, right? That's my disclaimer. Caroline Levitt right here said the following as well about Donald Trump saying that Putin promised that there weren't going to be more attacks. Here's what she said. Let's play it.
President Trump was talking yesterday about how President Putin had agreed to a week-long halt on attacks on Ukraine because of the cold weather. But today we've seen that Russia has launched some of the heaviest attacks this month. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I spoke with the president about it this morning, and his reaction was unfortunately unsurprised. These are two countries who have been engaged in a very brutal war for several years, a war that would have never started if the president were still in office. It started because of the weakness and incompetence of the previous president, Joe Biden.
And then here you have, though, Donald Trump sycophants like James Comer, MAGA Republican Congress member, continuing to talk about taking Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton's deposition. By the way, Bill and Hillary Clinton, former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Clinton, saying, we're okay. You want us to talk about the Epstein files? Let's do it in public so the whole world can see. Here, play this clip.
President Trump's name is mentioned more than 1,000 times in these documents. Why not try to get more information from him? Try to get him to testify.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed that every time you all do a gaggle like this with President Trump, somebody asks him about Epstein. So he's been answering questions about Epstein.
Not under oath.
But, has Bill Clinton ever answered any questions on Epstein or Hillary Clinton? So this is going to be a new opportunity, and we'll go from there.
And finally, as promised, I want to share with you a portion of that speech from Greenland's foreign minister, Minister Vivian Modsfeldt, a powerful speech about standing up to the Trump regime in Greenland, what that's like, how difficult it's been for Greenland, as the Trump regime has been this predator country that the United States has become under Donald Trump. Here's the foreign minister of Greenland giving this incredible speech in Norway. Let's play a small portion of it.
What we have been going through have been intense and hectic, and there still are. While we are working hard to address and solve the issues that has put Greenland on the global agenda, it is important to acknowledge and appreciate the support and solidarity with us. And my fellow panelists here are a good representation of that. What we are dealing with, what we are defending is greater than just the issue of Greenland and our future. This is as much about principles that we all care about. These times like these call for cooperation, dialogue, and respect. Dialogue among states and peoples through the established forums we have established, respect for the fundamental principles of international law, territorial integrity, the right of self-determination, democracy, and respect of peoples. The state of affairs is something the people of Greenland feel closely these days, but it also echoes across the world. We are well aware where we are located on the map, and we know that our climates, economies, and people are closely connected with the rest of the world. That is also why we need each other in order to address the common challenges we face. We need allies and partnerships to continue to create a world that we all want to live in. Thank you to our fellow Inuit across Inuit Nunat, our Sami friends, Norway, Sweden, Finland, also the European Union for your strong support. It means a lot to us to know you are backing us.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed. So hit subscribe. Help us get to 6 million subscribers. And thank you so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.